Back with Bill Guy this morning from Theta Gold Mines. Bill, good morning.
On Andrew, how's it going?
Yeah, good, Bill. Good to see you. You've confirmed this week here completion of the first tranche of an equity funding placement you announced a bit earlier this year. Just give us a recap on the investment.
Yeah, sure. We've raised 8 million US as part of that first tranche. It was basically from a private equity fund out of Hong Kong. Essentially, Ruihua, that fund has been to site last year. It's continuing to support us in the project. So it's been a great news. And they'll also top up another 4 million subject to a couple of conditions being met.
Tell us more, Bill, about this bond redemption.
Yeah, so the bonds were actually had collateralized against the project. So we need to redeem the bonds to free up the collateral for the debt funders. So we've promised a number of groups who would do that. So that's been done now. So, the project collateral, the project itself is free, to go against debt financing and whatever methodology we choose in the end.
Well, so this additional equity, Bill, what does it mean for Theta and the project?
Yeah, well, the guys are working very hard on site now. So effectively, most everything that hasn't gone into the bonds will go into the capex. So the guys are actually on site, doing the execution documentation, doing the final design, working on the tailings dam. We're also working on the EPC, trying to finalize that with Yellow River. So they've offered to put in around 35 million. So, we're getting there now.
You mentioned here, Bill, the current gold price environment means you've changed strategy a bit as far as project funding. Just tell us a bit more.
Well, originally we were going to do a sort of prepaid with Sprott. They're amazing guys and great team. But when we started that process, gold was around $1,642. Gold's 2,500 now. So it just doesn't really make mathematical sense anymore for us.
So what's the build period for the project? What's the timeline coming up?
Yeah, it's an 18-month build process. So we hope to complete all the funding towards the end of this year and get stuck in around January.
And what do you reckon makes this project stand out amongst other gold development projects?
Well, it's really size. So, we're only concentrating on the first four mines with this feasibility study, but there's 6 million ounces available. If you look at us and compare us to our, I guess, peers on the ASX, this very large project is probably in the top 5 undeveloped gold resources on the ASX today.
And how does your valuation compare to your ASX peers?
I think for where we are, it's not actually too bad. Obviously, I don't think the market's factored in the size of this project. I think we do get a little discount because of country risk in South Africa. But as we start to develop and pour gold bars, we really see that risk evaporating. South Africa's had a very significant election here. They call it the government of unity. So for the first time ever, the ANC's in 30 years, the ANC is not totally in charge. So there's a lot of optimism in South Africa. As I'm here today, actually.
And tell us more. As you say, you're in South Africa. You'll be visiting the project. What's on your agenda for your visit?
Yeah, sure. We'll be visiting some of the potential funders this trip, going through those processes. We'll also be going to site, really connect with the guys on site, see how the project's progressing. We expect that execution documentation to be completed around November with final costings. So, when you go for a process, you have a scoping studies about plus or minus 30%. Then you go to a pre-feasibility, sort of plus minus 20. Then you go down to a feasibility, which is plus or minus 15. But the idea behind completing all this execution documentation phase is really to bring that down to 10 or 5%. So, we can go out to the market with a great deal of confidence about, we've got the real numbers and this is what it's going to cost. So we contact individual suppliers. We make sure each piece of equipment has a performance guarantee for all the major pieces of equipment. We're really getting down to the detail now. The site plan is almost finished. The guys have completed about 25 geotechnical holes on site. So we know the site's in good condition now. So yeah, it's really a function of detail now.
Great to see you, Bill. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Andrew. Have a great day.